I remember I always loved all the sweets in all my life. Chocolate, candy, cookie, anything, gummy bears especially. So I always had this idea about myself that I just love all the sweets. And I loved those to the extent where I had so much of the candies and chocolates until I started to get dizzy. I guess that's a extreme situation, extreme case of the sugar rush. And in order to fix that problem of my dizziness, my brain told me that I have to eat more candy and more chocolate. I ate so much chocolate and candy until I got sick. And then when I got sick, my body told me, okay, there's one way to fix this: eat candy and more chocolate. So I always had these periods in my life when I just had too much of those stuff. And I loved all the different flavors. I tried all the different type of chocolates, all the weird ones, all the odd ones, all the basic ones. I love ice cream too, by the way. And at one point in my life, I had an epiphany about my addiction to sweets. And the realization was that I'm not loving those different flavors, and I'm not loving those different brands, and I'm not loving chocolate, I'm not loving candy, cookies, but I love sugar. I had to realize that I am addicted to sugar, and I eat everything that contains sugar. It's not about this, because I had like, okay, I have this. This is this is my favorite chocolate. This is the candy I like the most, etc., etc. But I just realized that if those would not contain sugar, I would not eat them because they don't taste good, which was a very rough realization. I remember I bought some dark chocolate to my brother, who loved dark chocolate, by the way, and I think that was the first time I ever tasted dark chocolate. And I had to realize that I don't even like chocolate. I said it just doesn't taste good. I like milk chocolate. But if you don't like dark chocolate and if you like milk chocolate, that means you love sugar and you don't like chocolate. So to me, that was pretty tough to realize that I'm very much addicted to sugar. And from that was, I don't know, that was probably 7 years ago. So I lived the majority of my life so far by being addicted to sugar and consuming a lot of sugar. And ever since then, I'm trying to regulate my sugar intake as much as possible. I'm not. The problem with sugar, and usually the problem with food-related addiction, is that you can't stop eating altogether. This is not an option. So your body needs sugar, your brain needs sugar to function. When there's a certain drug you're addicted to, you can stop completely, and you will still function or function better, depends. But in case of food and in case of food components, it's just not possible because you have to have sugar, you have to have salt, you have to eat in order to function. So what's really bad for you, what I realized, is the processed food that we have, the food industry. And after I had this realization roughly 7 years ago, I decided not to eat, completely abandon all processed food sweets, like, the milk chocolates, ice cream, what I just mentioned before. And because I love cooking, and by the way, this is not really a breaking news, but the most healthy option you can have is when you cook for yourself. Then the most important part in cooking, I love cooking, by the way, I'm a great cook. And the most important part of cooking is to get the proper ingredients. The final outcome, the real quality, comes from the ingredients themselves. Of course, you have to follow the recipe properly and use the right rations and right measurements, etc. But the most important part is that you have to have the right ingredients, the proper, good quality ingredients. And because I'm a cook, I started to read all the labels on the food, what I buy, and it's just mind blowing that almost everything contains sugar. Almost every single food, even if you go to the superstore and you buy some peas, or you buy some corn, bottled corn, uh, which should have just water and corn in the water and pea in it. Uh, it will have sugar in it. That just blew my mind. This is to be honest, this is outrageous that this is not regulated. Uh, uh, this is not illegal. This is outrageous. This is really unbelievable that the food industry can use sugar to get people hooked on stuff and eat more. So yeah, that was my story. And ever since then, I'm always reading the label and I'm looking for the component, the sugar component, because it's almost everywhere. Every single product that you buy, no matter, you would not even guess. And I saw this on people, by the way, when they taste something and they say, "Oh, okay, this tastes very, very good." And since I'm an expert in sugar, I know they say this because it contains sugar. So anyway, again, critical thinking. We have to be careful of our surroundings and don't trust anything, question everything, and try to make your own mind on stuff, and stay vigilant. Yeah, that was my story of being a sugar addict. So, and I don't know, what's your story? Do you like sugar? By the way, I have a friend who don't like sugar, who simply don't like sugar. That's something I don't understand. To me, that's like, this is the most perfect drug ever, sugar. I don't understand how people cannot love sugar. You guys see, I sound like a sugar junkie. But I'm a recovering sugar junkie, so it's all good. Anyway, that was my story of being a sugar addict. Since I'm aware of that now, by the way, no one ever told me that this is a possibility. Like, no, I never met in my life anyone who gave me the advice of, please be careful, because the stuff that you might consider tasteful or good might be only because of the sugar in it. So try to watch out for this thing. If you eat too much processed sugar, that's very bad for you. So anyway, I'm trying to be aware of that whenever I prepare my meal, whenever I buy ingredients, whenever I buy something. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. And please share your story. If you have any story about sugar and stuff, if you love sugar, if you hate sugar, drop me your story in comments. I'm very much interested in your story. Thank you, guys.